Welcome back to another episode of Who Should You Choose, the video series where I go through the prior videos, questions, and comments and help you with your HUT lineup decisions. Again, want to make kind of a PSA. I know I did this in some other videos as well, but it appears that the one collectible XP set where you trade in one XP collectible from the XP path to get a 72 and above player item. Those were giving out 75 and above players. It was crazy good value. It does look like you're getting more bronze cards in those sets. So I told you guys that this could be changed at any time. EA wouldn't let us know, but they would just change the odds back to what they should be because it looked like it was just an issue or an error. And I did 5 today or yesterday, and I got 4 bronze cards. So might have just been a random occurrence, but it's why I urge you guys to only do 5 at a time. Don't throw all 50 of your collectibles in there and then it not work. So, buyer beware. I've heard some other people say that they got some crazy polls still. So I just wanted to give that piece of feedback because I know that a lot of people are going to use that based on feedback from these videos. So that being said, let's get into today's questions from Brandon. It's his lineup question. With the Protect Net ending, I've already built 87 Demko. He's a Canucks fan. And we'll finish the event with a bunch of Protect the Net cards. 185 Blake, 280 or 484s, 282s, and 8 collectibles. I'll drop the collectibles in the 82 plus set. And if I only pull an 82, then I trade in 382s for an 84. From there, would you take any more PTN MSPs or save for other sets? Barkov is an extremely safe MSP to make, guys. Like I know in my rankings video I said there was no S tier cards like that I feel like you'll regret not making. There are a lot of decent centermen now, especially the event cards. Like if you look at the new Brian Trache, for example, it's a very good centerman card. Nick Suzuki is at 85 from this event, great face-off rating. So again, I don't think Barkov's a must make, but if you do have enough for one MSP, Barkov will be very safe for you. So that might be a play for some of you guys. Current lineup is the leanest on the wings. I'm no money spent, but I have a little XP path luck at center. 87 Milestone Gretzky, he's tradable. 87 Eichel, Star of the Month Reinhardt is tradable. 87 Next Gen Barzal, Fantasy Backlund at center. So, like, you could sell Milestone Gretzky, get a couple 100,000 coins, and then make Barkov if you have the Protect Net cards available to you. Right? That's probably what I do given your lineup. I know that you say you're weak on the wings. You've got Bratt, Drew, and Grimson in 82s. You might be able to use those coins to buy go grab Base McDavid. Still the best card per his price. So I would definitely do that to help out on the wings as well. Next up, we've got lineup question. Would you still make Barzal if your left wing, right-handed forwards, are Lemieux, Gartner, McKinnon, Eichel? I was hoping for 89 team builders by now to see holes in my lineup and build MSPs as needed. Ooh. I mean, you could put Lemieux at center and run Barzal. I still think Barzal is probably better than all these guys, but that's a lot. It would depend on the rest of your lineup. I would, but I put Lemieux at center. Find a way to put him at center. From Lil Bodie. Hey, Sleeves. Just started playing HUT this year, and I've loved watching your videos. Got a lineup question for you, and it's kind of long, so bear with me. My current lineup is on D-Men, Season 2, Montour, cover athlete Hughes, cover athlete McCarr, Forsling, X Factor, Renata. X Factor, Fast, and PTN Vlasic. Okay, I admittedly am not very good at the game, but play semi-casually because I'm new to team building in NHL. I grind a bunch at the very beginning, but stopped right when Chara was released due to burnout. I don't really know if there's someone I should be focusing on or saving up for. I feel like I'm so far away from McDavid it's not worth it, but I'm not sure. Any recommendations are greatly appreciated. Love your videos, and thanks for all the tips. Appreciate that, my man. Yeah, like your lineup does have quite a few holes in it. I probably wouldn't chase after McDavid. I would probably make some MSPs that could go into your lineup. Like again, Barkov would be great for your team, as would a defenseman, I think. So if you went Faber or Owen Power, also good options. Hey Sleeves, I hope everything is well. No question from me, but can we talk about Fantasy Severson? I was kind of tilted when I got him BND. But he scored a few goals last week or so, and he's turned out really well for me. Another reason why I love the fantasy event. The best part of the fantasy event when you have a no idea card and Severson comes out of nowhere. Yeah, man, it's Severson's been sneaky good. If I went back and watched my video, I want to say I put him in like the A or B tier, and I mentioned that he was actually usable when he came out. But no, you got a good one there. You got a good one. Seabiscuit says, "Hey slaves, I was away on my honeymoon during week 2 of the men's fantasy event. I have 8 collectibles I earned during week 1. I don't have enough fodder to make 8 more for the women's. Will there be a trade in for the unused collectibles like in previous years?" Well, first of all, congratulations, my man, on your marriage. That being said, no, probably not. Yeah, he even removed the team of the week collectible trade in. I hope you guys were able to, heed my warning that it looked like it was only a week and you had to use your team of the week collectibles. Absolute joke that isn't. If they're gonna completely change the format, why not allow us to use? Like, I don't understand why there isn't something that allows you to use unused collectibles. It makes no sense to me. It just falls in line with everything that the content team has done, where it feels like there's no thought process, man. It makes no sense, but no, it doesn't look like it. Lineup and FOMO question. Howdy, sleeves. Always a pleasure to watch you each day on here and Twitch. I have both a lineup and a FOMO question. He's got McDavid, Mario, and Garland. It's a great first line. Wayne Eichel, Barzal. Whoa, okay. Kucherov, Koivu, Panarin, Line Comfort, Druin. I mean, that's disgusting. He's got Montour and Ekholm, Boyle, Lidstrom, Fox, and Hughes. We got an Ekholm boy over Parayko. My condolences, my man. I'm thinking of adding someone, but I don't know who. This leads me to the FOMO part. I'm not sure if I want to build a fantasy card or not. Anyone is worth building aside from Keller. I have Hedman coming in due time, as well as Bobby Orr is my favorite player of mine. What would you do? Sorry for the lengthy post, but keep doing what you do best, brother. Cheers. There are the fantasy cards for the women's event they're actually well rated, and they're probably all going to hit 99. The problem is I don't watch the PWHL, and that is a big part of the fantasy event for me. Obviously, if Megan Keller gets to 99, are you going to feel super left out, like you made a mistake? Yeah, maybe. But if you have her card, like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for that. I'm not making one, and I don't feel like I'm missing out because it is what it is. It's not like, here's the thing. The fear of missing out part should be on event cards like Barzal or Jay Bomeister or Chara or KO Makar at the beginning of the year. Those ones you should feel FOMO on because they're easy to make. Fantasy cards require such an insane investment that, like, it's like, if I don't get it, I don't get it, And you're not going to see a lot of those cards, okay? You're not going to see a ton of Megan Kellers in comparison to, like, Parayko and Ekholm because everyone tried to make them, right? A-Slaves. So I am I'm one of the few that enjoys Wildcard and did enjoy Rush because I value having a quick mode to just casually go through during the week. However, this week, the majority of Wildcard games are going into multiple overtimes. My longest games was 6 overtimes. This honestly defeats the whole purpose of the mode. I was wondering if there was just a random issue or if it's common. Dude, because it's like only one period, right? Each one, if someone scores a goal each, like there needs to be a fix. I don't know if a shootout is it. I hate the shootout in Rivals especially, but I think Wildcard might need a shootout. Or if it just automatically goes to a shootout after overtime. I don't even want that, but that would make it quicker. But yeah, I've been stuck in like 4 overtime games, and it's just brutal. Ratsy says, I took Fox and Kucherov for my captains. At the time, I thought Fox might be in the Team of the Year conversation. He certainly isn't. But Team of the Year means upgrade, which means X Factor upgrades too. I want to bring this up. A very prominent marketologist in Hut, Bagel, if you don't know who that is. He's known as the Wolf of Hut Street on Reddit. He's in my Discord, and I appreciate him hanging out in my court all the time because he's always talking about what he's doing. He is a billionaire in Hut every year, and he doesn't spend $1, but he also goes way over the top when it comes to sitting in the auction house and flipping cards and all of that. That's the game to him, right? And he brought up a very good point. 80 overalls are going for so cheap right now. So cheap, okay? That you could make one X Factor collectible, which you will need to use to upgrade the X Factor captains and McDavid, for 80 overalls, right? which means you get them very cheap, which means that at eventually when you go to upgrade them to 99, it won't be as expensive. Okay? Not to mention there's not many upgrades at all, so it's not like you need a ton of them. But eventually you're going to start needing more and more and more and more. Team of like it's been 2 months since the game launched, over 2 months, and we have seen 2 upgrades to 2 of the captains. Oh, 3 if you include McDavid. Okay? Like there's no guarantee that team of the year cards upgrade. Like they're so slow on the progression, guys, that if you're saving everything to get multiple team of the year cards, in what world do you think that they are going to regularly update them, especially after last year where some of them didn't even hit 99, right? So if you, one of the arguments I saw was if you make the captains and you get Kucherov and Nylander back, let's say, or Kucherov and Fox back, all right? And I said if they get team of the year, right, then, you know, they have a shot at it. But then someone else said, but they're B and D, you can't trade them in, you can't get the team of the year version, so that's pointless. That's not the case. It means that they will get at least a little bit of an upgrade when team of the year drops, and that you can buy the upgrades. And if you can do it cheap early on, save a bunch of 80 overalls, then you're laughing. Icon passing still kind of works. The visual buttons icons are missing, which sucks, but I found that holding down R2 and pressing a face button still works. Not everyone will be able to quickly tell which player is in position, but if you remember jersey numbers, positions, you can definitely send those breakup passes or pass to the point in the ozone. So he's right. If you hold down right trigger and hit a face button, it will make a pass like the icon passing will, but it doesn't show it. I wouldn't risk that. You know, you could try, but wouldn't recommend it. They just need to fix it. They need to fix it, and I don't know if they will. I play an hour or 2 a day, and I make 1 MSP an event. I enjoy the game, and I think the way people grind this game, it's not the way it's supposed to be played, in my opinion. You don't need to make every card. I do agree with the content vision issue. No reason players shouldn't be rewarded for real-life success. He's absolutely right. I think that all Ultimate Team Mode games are played way too much. It's like 100-hour game that we put 1,000 hours into. So there's no, it's just set up for failure, right? And making 1 MSP an event is great. That's a good way to build your team. And I'm with you on that. But we do need some cards to chase after, man. We do. It just, nothing's getting upgraded. It's just very bleak right now. Very bleak. So, Morning Sleeve's got a lineup question for you. I have a pretty decent team, but I've kind of hit a plateau. The content because there's not much to work for. Should I save up for team of the year and just make anything else until then, or should I continue to upgrade my team? Appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Love the vids. Barkov, Barzal, Hughes, Eichel, Crosby, Kirill, Marner, Matthews, Kucherov, McKinnon, Macklin, Matvey. He's got Makar and Power, Morrow and 88s, 87 Bourbonnais and Shara, Kemper and Wall. Think about the 87 Demko because I have enough to make one more if I play up before Friday. Don't need to do that. Yeah, that's overkill unless you really want to play. Your lineup's fine. You could save for team of the year. I think that you'll be bored and let down by it, but nonetheless, in your situation, your lineup is stacked, so. Currently a captain and a half away from McDavid, and I need those flash packs back desperately. Those 90,000 coin packs, guys, that gave you a base X Factor, a team builder, and a base power-up icon. Best packs in the store every single time that they come available. You need to buy them for 90K, even if you can get duplicate X Factors or icons, because A, you can re-roll them if you get 3, right? If you get duplicates that you don't want, but B, team builders can't be duplicated. Like you can trade in 6 of the same one. So it's already worth the 90,000 just for that. Hey Slaves, been really taking your advice this year, prioritizing my favorite players, and it's made it so much fun. Because of that, most of my lines are quite even in terms of overall, and that gave me an idea that's really helped me. Since we can only have 2 power play lines, I would often run into the problem of both lines being exhausted at the start of the power play. So now I have my line set up so it's my first and third lines instead of my first and second. It's almost completely gotten rid of that problem and given me an idea to perform well in the power play. Obviously, it won't work for everyone. Team just thought that it was a neat idea. Sorry for such a long comment. Hope you and the family are doing well. Thanks for great content. I mentioned this in my strategies video. This is a very good way to go. Again, what I do is I make it my first 2 lines and my first 2 defensemen. I don't mix and match because that's asking with state of line changes and energy in this game. You're asking to have all 4 lines trained. I like this idea. I do. I think you need to have a deep team though for it, but definitely a good idea to put that. And same thing with the penalty kill. So it's your second and fourth line, right? And don't mix up your D pairs. Hey, Slaves, you've been so helpful in navigating the hut season to season. Question. I've got Celebrini and Mitchkov next gen cards, and I have enough fodder given recent packs in order to make one more. Given the most recent play of those rookies, would you suggest I gamble on for a Calder nom? I heard you say Barzal last show, but I've never been a fan, and I want to play for a long time, not short. Let's say, just say my lineup weak links are X Factor, Nylander, and Boreas Solomon, not waiting for Team of the Year. Positive feedback on NHL 25. I get it. For the price we pay, we should not accept subpar product. But man, sometimes I sit back in awe of what this game is. I was a 12-year-old who devoted hours to NHL 93 through 97. So much so I didn't have a girlfriend until 98. This game was everything, has everything a kid of my age could have ever dreamed of and more. Keep the great content. I need to come watch you on Twitch someday. I appreciate that comment. Let's start first with if you should trade that in. In all honesty, guys, as a Sharks fan, I hate to admit it, with Macklin missing 10 games and Mitchkov just popping off, he's got 27 points. I believe he's 10 or 11 points ahead of Macklin. He is going to be a Calder nom and probably going to win the Calder, unless Macklin, I think, will be a nom, but it's going to be very tough. He's got to just keep performing, and he's been so good defensively. That being said, you could then trade in Macklin and whoever else for Barzal. I think you're in good shape. Right? If you want to play the long game, sure, but Barzal could be in your lineup for a long time. In terms of the feedback, man, it's funny. It's like, if you were to ask like 5 years ago, would you like the game more or like whatever? And for the most part, you would. If you go back and play the older games, there might be some features you like, but the quality of life stuff alone, it's like, okay, it's slightly better. But then when you think about what we've got now, it may seem spoiled, but we're paying full price, you know? So it's tough, man. It's tough. Lineup question. Next gen Barzal, Cirelli, and Gretzky. I can make one or two more protected net players. Was thinking Pwhl, Barkov, or Faber. None of them really interest me that much, and I'm leaning on holding the 84s for Team of the Year. I've gotten 10 wins each champs I've played. What with this mid content, I don't feel satisfied burning fodder to build guys I don't care about. Never build a player if you don't feel like it, right? Because then eventually he'll be untradeable, and you'll be like, ugh, and you're just kind of stuck with him. I would wait. Yeah, like you have Cirelli and Aho. Those are fine. And Newendijk. You're fine. And Hattrick Couture is also a great option. So, yeah, there's no real reason. You can save cards for a future event. I know he doesn't have the rights to these players, but I miss using cards like Gaborik, Datsuk, and Kovalchuk. It's the one thing every single year that, you know, they send out the invites and it's on the player to sign into the likeness agreement, right? And if they don't sign, they don't sign. It's tough, man. Like, Pwhl, Bure, Vinny LeCavalier, I would love to see in there. Datsuk, obviously. And eventually, I think they will, but it stinks. Lineup statement. My thinking behind this game is get as many Team of the Year, Team of the Season fantasy cards as possible. It locks them in my lineup, assuming they get upgrades, which in hand saves me more time and resources the longer the year goes on. I'm also thinking that Team of the Year and possibly Team of the Season will have free AP on the cards, which would be fantastic. You have to remember every company's goal is to rip every dollar and time of your day so your money and energy is spent on their product. Getting these three types of cards, these types of event cards reduces the time played and keeps you competitive the whole year. Yeah, that's the cycle of literally the last 5 NHL video games, man. Those big 3 events. We talk about it every year. That's why everyone asks about the fantasy event and everyone asks if they should save it for Team of the Year. And Team of the Season has been the biggest event every year for like a decade now. So, yeah, nothing new there, but those 3 events are what you go after. Lineup question. I Slaves, a new player here, and I'm a bit intrigued with PWHL. I'm a female hockey player and would love to represent one of the girls on my team. I know Keller is off to a fantastic start. I have 3 fantasy players from the men's league, Kopitar, Zetterlund, and Garland. Just not sure if I should spend 40 collectibles on Keller or take my shot on the 16, as 3 of the 6 don't seem bad. I do want to participate in Team of the Year and not blow all of my resources, but with the progression, I'm concerned they won't get upgraded fast in that way. All my defense are 85, 86. Keep the good work. I love your content. I love the fact that you're getting into the PWHL. I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of people don't really care. Like I said, I don't watch the PWHL. But I think it's good for the people that enjoy it. And I think that they did a great job of getting their product in the game, because it gives you a situation like this where you're looking to follow now and you're more intrigued with the PWHL because of the video game. That's big for them. Here's the thing. If you made Keller, even if she doesn't score again, you're fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you won't be that upset. So I'd probably try and make Keller. Hey, Slaves, I was listening to What Chaos. Shout out my boy Pete Blackburn and DJ. And they were talking about the recent changes to the CHL and the NCAA eligibility. The conversation towards how NFL and NBA players are almost always ready to come to the major league when they are drafted, which makes watching college football and basketball more exciting as it bleeds into the major leagues. The conversation got me thinking, why doesn't EA do an event for draft eligibles? I feel like they could use the same framework they do for the next gen event to make junior cards that you could grow attached to throughout the season, then garner more excitement for the draft as you get closer. I'll admit I haven't played a full season of Hut in years, so it's possible to do something like this, and I'm missing it. But if so, I do feel like an event like this should be timed similar to the next gen event, so you have time to grow to watch these players. This year in particular, it'd be very fun to have a Schaefer, Martone, Misa card that might be eligible to hit 99 in the summer. Curious in your thoughts. As someone who follows the OHL and works for the OHL or an NHL franchise, at least covering them media wise, I would love this. If I was in charge of content, I would definitely do something. I mean, the event is already made in real life. It's called the NHL Top Prospects game, where the CHL this year took on the best players from the NTDP, the U.S. kids, right, that are among draft eligible players, and the CHL dominated because, well, it's been the best feeder league in the world for the last 20, 30, 50 years, right? So that being said, NDTB had a down year in terms of their high-end talent, so wasn't really a fair fight in my opinion, because I think the OHL has its strongest up top as it's ever been with 3 of the top 4 picks. That being said, you could easily do an event around that. The one issue you're going to run into, though, is because they don't have the rights to a lot of the U.S. kids. If they're in college or the National Development Program, they don't have the rights to them. And hopefully, with the CHL NCAA agreement and the NIL, so like name, image, and likeness now in college football, and athletes can get paid. Hopefully, we see eligibility, or we see U.S. kids allowing EA to put them in the game. That would be massive. You wouldn't get any of the, you might not get any of the faceless cards and things like that. It would just be so much fun. I'm with you on that. I would love an event entirely. I don't know if we'd ever get something like that, but I would definitely try and do something. There is an OHL event specifically that I know, because Ethan Zada from the Niagara Ice Dogs will be competing in it, where it's the OHL draft eligible players, East and West, and they play against each other, and they're all in the game. So you could do something along those lines as well. But I'm with you. It'd be great to see something like that, but it's a rights issue, and I don't know when they would ever be able to fix that. That's going to do it for this episode of Who Should You Choose? Thank you guys again for hanging out and all of your comments and love. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.